In the quiet town of Willowbrook, a golden retriever named Max had a heart as golden as his fur. He loved nothing more than exploring, especially on those grey, drizzly afternoons when the world seemed to hold its breath. One such day, as rain misted down, Max wandered near the edge of the forest. That's when he heard it a faint, desperate mewing carried on the damp air. Drawn by the sound, he followed it to a fallen log, its bark slick with rain. Tucked behind it, he found a tiny, shivering pile of fur. 3 kittens, no bigger than his paws, were soaked and trembling. There was Misty, a little grey one with a fearless spark in her eyes. Stripe, a cautious tabby who watched him warily. And Poppy, a playful calico, her patches a splash of colour against the dreary day. Max, with his gentle nature, knew just what to do. He gave them a soft nudge, a silent promise that he was a friend. Hesitantly at first, then with growing trust, the tiny kittens climbed onto his broad, warm back. Together, they made their way home, a strange but heartwarming sight, trotting through the wet fields. When they arrived, Max's owner, Emma, was waiting. Her heart melted at the sight. She quickly leans in soft, while Blanquet cooing over proudly. That night, a new kind of family was formed. Max curled up on his bed. The 3 tiny kittens nestled safely against his belly, their purrs a soft rumble of contentment. There, we're home. The next morning, the sun streamed through the windows, and with it came the kittens' boundless curiosity. The back door was slightly ajar, an invitation to the great outdoors. Max, ever the watchful guardian, sensed their excitement. He led them out, his tail giving a gentle wag of encouragement. The garden, once just a patch of green, transformed into their personal playground. Butterflies danced in the air, and the kittens, full of newfound energy, couldn't resist the chase. They scrambled over logs, their tiny claws finding perches, and explored every hidden nook of the yard. Max was their guide, gently steering them away from thorny rose bushes and slippery patches of moss. He showed them the safest paths, his presence a constant reassurance. Misty, the bravest of the 3, always led the charge, her little grey body a blur of motion. Stripe, ever the cautious one, followed closely behind, his eyes taking in every detail before he pounced. And Poppy, the playful calico, bounced from one discovery to the next, her attention captured by anything that moved or sparkled. By the time the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, the kittens were tired, a little muddy, but absolutely radiant with happiness. Emma watched from the porch, amazed at how they had blossomed into tiny adventurers in just one day. A few days later, their explorations led them to the edge of the forest, where a shimmering pond lay hidden like a secret jewel. The water glittered under the sun, and the air was filled with the hum of dragonflies. Misty, true to her fearless nature, wanted to dive right in. But Stripe hesitated at the water's edge, his striped tail twitching nervously. Max, ever patient, showed them it was safe. He waded into the shallow water, letting it lap gently against his legs. He encouraged the kittens to follow, letting them splash and paddle in the cool water close to the shore. Poppy, completely fascinated by a dragonfly with iridescent wings, got a little too close to the edge and nearly tumbled in. But before she could fall, Max was there, nudging her gently back to safety. They spent the afternoon playing water games, their confidence growing with every splash. Max barked happily, a proud parent, watching his little ones conquer their fears. Their adventures continued to take them deeper into the woods. While exploring near an ancient oak tree, its branches stretching like old arms, the kittens spotted a dark hole under its roots. It looked mysterious, maybe even a little scary. Max, their trusted leader, went first. Easterly, Tang gave a soft woof that seemed to say, trusting him completely, the kittens followed him inside. They discovered a short, earthy tunnel that opened up into a secret clearing. It was like stepping into a fairy tale. The clearing was filled with wildflowers of every color, and the air buzzed with the gentle sound of bees flitting from blossom to blossom. Misty and Poppy were in awe, racing through the flowers and rolling in the soft grass. Stripe, still a bit cautious, stayed close to Max's side, but his wide eyes showed he was just as amazed. They spent the entire afternoon in the hidden paradise, returning home as the sun dipped low, their little hearts full of wonder. One bright, clear morning, Max decided it was time for their biggest adventure yet. He led the kittens along a winding trail they had never seen before. It took them through the heart of the forest, over a babbling stream where they paused to drink, and finally into a wide meadow of tall, waving grass. Suddenly, a frantic rustling sound came from a nearby bramble bush. Peeking through the leaves, they saw two baby rabbits, their ears drooping with fear, hopelessly tangled in the thorns. Max let out a low bark, a signal for the kittens to stay back and remain calm. He carefully approached the bush and began to gently nudge and pull at the branches, while the kittens watched, learning. Slowly, painstakingly, they helped free the scared rabbits, who gave a flick of their white tails and scampered away to safety. The kittens puffed out their chests with pride. With Max as their teacher, they weren't just explorers, they were helpers. As evening began to settle over the meadow, a magical transformation took place. The twilight air began to sparkle as hundreds of fireflies emerged, blinking their tiny lights on and off. It was a breathtaking sight. Misty and Poppy, full of playful energy, leaped and batted at the glowing specks, their silhouettes dancing in the fading light. Stripe, the quiet observer, simply sat, his eyes wide with wonder, trying to take in all the magic. Max lay down in the soft grass, a contented sigh escaping his lips. The kittens, tired from their big day, crawled all over him, their purrs mixing with the gentle chirping of crickets. They snuggled into his warm fur, watching the firefly ballet together. It was a perfect moment of peace and friendship, a lesson in finding beauty and wonder in the quiet corners of the world. Days turned into weeks, and with each passing sunrise, the kittens grew stronger, braver, and more confident. Max was their constant teacher and protector. He taught them important life skills, like how to chase a ball with gusto, how to navigate the woods safely, and most importantly, how to look out for one another. Emma would often find herself just watching them, amazed. A golden retriever and 3 little kittens, moving and playing as one inseparable unit. They were a family. No puddle was too big, no log was too high, and no new place was too scary, because Max was always there. He was their guardian, their playmate, and their best friend. And the kittens, once tiny and trembling, had become fearless little adventurers, forever grateful to the golden-hearted dog who found them in the rain and changed their world. Every morning, they would gather together to watch the sunrise, ready for whatever new adventures the day might bring. In the small town of Willowbrook, the heartwarming legend of Max and his tiny adventurers was only just beginning. Thanks so much for watching our story today. If you loved Max and his little family, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming adventures. See you next time.